There we go. After our session today, the recording as well as my my slide deck will be sent out so that you have it to follow. Yet it's a general guide. You get the opportunity to really take this system and this model and make it your own, and put your own flavor and your own stamp on it. So utilize your notes to start developing your own flavor and your own stamp today. So that you can get your seminar started. And I would be honored if when you host your first seminar after this, will you please include me in the invitation? If I can attend, I will. Otherwise, I'm just so excited that people are interested in this. I think it's an incredible service, not just to your business, but to our buyers and sellers, because you guys are the experts. And it's our job to, to protect the net worth of Americans, right? I mean, that's what we do. That's our fiduciary duty. I love that you guys are going to be going out into the world to do just that. So let's do this. I'm gonna share my screen. Can everybody? Oh, that's the wrong share button. There we go. Can everybody see my screen? Thumbs up if you can see it. Awesome, 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 awesome. So I've got just a few slides that are going to walk us through these 5 kind of steps inside of the model, and then we're going to go into the real world too and find some resources for you guys to be able to do this. This can definitely be interactive, so you're welcome to pop anything into the chat box or even unmute yourself. We've got a decent sized group today, so I don't think we'll be talking all over each other. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. And some of this is participatory. I don't have all of the answers, right? And so we're going to brainstorm some of these pieces together. So how you can win with seminars. So today we're going to go over a system that really has 5 steps for a successful seminar. These 5 steps are to plan and partner. You're going to then promote your seminar. You'll prepare for it. You'll present. You'll actually hold your seminar. And then you're going to have post-event follow-up. And I'm not an expert at putting together these PowerPoint presentations, yet that's not why the font is off. I really wanted to emphasize that the 2 most important steps for hosting a successful seminar are actually the promotion and the follow-up. I'll be really honest with you. If that's all you did, you could still have a successful event, right? Even if you didn't have a plan, even if you didn't prepare thoroughly, goodness, let's say something happened and you had to take your dog to the vet and you couldn't even host your seminar, you had to cancel. It could still be a successful seminar if you promoted it properly and you do the follow-up. And so the reason for that is the seminar itself is a piece of inventory, right? It's an information delivery system. It's an event. And whenever we hold an event, we get the opportunity to tell others about that event and get them as excited about that event as we are. We get to get them bought into that experience. And if you do that properly, what you're going to end up doing is creating an event that draws people to you. And these are people who are naturally raising their hand. If they're interested in a real estate seminar, right, then they're telling you they have a real estate need and they're interested in learning more about how to take care of their real estate need. So just by them expressing interest in your event, whether they attend the event or not, you already know who they are and that they have an interest in real estate. So then if you simply follow up with them, you can learn what that interest in real estate is. and develop a relationship in which they trust you enough to allow you to be their realtor for that need. So so that's kind of the key, the secret sauce, if you will, to the seminars. You simply don't have to be camera ready, right? You don't have to be you know, a talented actor or actress or presenter or trainer to be able to host a powerful seminar. You're going to be sharing some information and promoting people to this idea of learning more about real estate. So let's dive into a couple of these steps. Adrian, since I know you have some experience in doing this in your world, if there's something where you're like, ooh, you know, don't forget, or I've had a lot of success with this, feel free to chime in and you know, kind of contribute to some of this conversation here. But the first step is to plan and partner. And so you want to create a plan for your event. The first question I would ask is, what type of event do I want to hold? Like, who do I want to attract? Who's my audience? Do I need more buyers or do I need more sellers right now? And what's the message that a buyer or seller might have a question about? Right? And so let's spend a minute or two, if you want to pop into the chat or if you want to unmute yourself. What right now is a question that a buyer or a seller might have that in a seminar or an event could answer?
Well, I guess the elephant in the room is how to deal with COVID during the buying or the selling process. And quite frankly, I'm getting asked all the time, are people still buying and selling homes?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And I love that. And that question could vary. Who are you looking to attract? Buyers or sellers, right? If you're looking to attract sellers, then maybe that question is, how do you sell your home during a pandemic, right? How has COVID impacted the real estate market? Learn more, right? How to is usually a great lead-in to a seminar. That allows people to know that you're going to be teaching them a process. I have a friend who actually teaches. She does YouTube videos on this, and she'll also do calls on this. But she teaches you how to for sale by owner your home. Isn't that interesting? Because most of the time when she walks a potential seller through that process, they no longer want to for sale by owner their home. They see the value in hiring a real estate agent. And more importantly, they see the value in hiring her because they've built that relationship. So what type of event? Buyer events, you know, tend to naturally be the ones we think of first, right? Buying your first home, the steps to buying your first home, the steps to moving up, right? How to buy and sell, how to use bridge loans to buy and sell, how to move from the city to the country, right? In our world, it's from the city to the mountains, right? Give up that urban life for a little more mountain property. Oh, I love that. Polly says, in a strong seller's market, how a buyer can succeed against multiple offer situations. I think that's a great idea. And I think that's a really powerful seminar, right? It's a question that buyers are going to want answers to, which makes it a perfect topic for that seminar, right? What are some other questions that buyers or sellers might have, especially right now? I think some popular topics are like multi-generational living, right? How to make multi-generational living work, or, you know, how to empty nest effectively.
Ours weren't all that creative, so, but we did, we covered exactly what Ricky was talking about. You know, how is COVID affecting the real estate market? and really just based on our audience, because we of course knew who was registering, then we went ahead and made a plan to cover the topics based on who we knew was registering, because we got that information from them. So ours was kind of backwards, I guess, if you will, where we obtained the audience first and then made a plan on what we're going to talk about.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the next step as you're preparing is, who are you going to partner with? And depending on the type of seminar you're going to hold, your partner might look different. However, I recommend that you partner with somebody. You know, when you're working with buyers or doing a move up scenario, or how to buy with a bridge loan, right? Naturally, you might think of your lender, being able to partner with your lender to host the seminar. If you're doing something a little more, you know, on the outskirts, if you are, you know, how to be a successful empty nester, can you get maybe a, you know, the activities director from a 55 and older community, right, to talk a little bit about master plan living and what that looks like, right? I think there's so many different ways to be able to do that. Partnering with an insurance agent is also great, particularly for first-time buyer pieces. You may consider partnering with a small business owner who lives in a rural community that you think people might be interested in moving into, particularly if you're doing a, you know, sell in the city and, you know, buy in the country kind of webinar. Could you partner with, you know, some of those communities do have like HOAs, a director from HOA. Could you partner with even a small business owner, like from the local, like ranch supply or feed store, or you know, something like that. If people are looking for, you know, how to get into horse property, could you bring in somebody who does, you know, horse boarding, or, you know, I mean, get kind of creative with it. There's a huge value to partnership here, and for a couple of reasons. The first is your promotion power doubles because your partner will be promoting it too, right? The second is it brings you instant validity inside of that seminar, because your partner is going to validate what you're saying and you're going to validate your partner, right? So it brings you a level of authority that instantly, right, by having somebody validate what you're saying and also considering you an expert. So there's a variety of reasons why you want to partner, and I think it's really important to be able to do that. And then you might consider the timing of this event. The great thing with being able to hold this event virtually is you don't necessarily have to account for travel time, right? Like hosting an event at your office, you know, people get off work at about 5, they might have to eat some dinner, there's going to be traffic. So do we do something at like 6:30 or 7, or do we do it on a weekend and then they have to give up their Saturday to like come sit in my office and eat cold pizza? Like, how does that work? In doing this, you know, can you schedule a 1-hour event at, you know, at 8:30 at night, because these are going to be first-time home buyers and they probably have kids. So then their kids are in bed, and you don't have to drive anywhere because you're just at your computer, right? So think about who your audience is and when they might be most receptive to doing this. You know, evenings and weekends are still probably better times because while more people are working from home, they're still working. And my husband's not one of these people. While he's working from home, he's not really working, right? He can do all of the other things. But I found that while I was working from home, I was still working and couldn't probably attend a personal, you know, seminar. So once you know your audience, you can kind of have a good idea of what times work. And Adrian, what times have you had your in-person or your Zoom webinars?
We've played with the times just to see what responses were better. And it seems to be that it's kind of random. There was no time that we came up with that it was better than others. Saturday tends to be a good time, especially now with a lot of kids not in sports, which was why Saturdays were so rough before in person.
Yeah.
We did a couple on Friday evenings, and it was virtual happy hour. We Tuesdays and Wednesday evenings, we actually tried around 3 or 4, and it just seems to be random, where we might have 4 or 5 people, on a Saturday, and the very next Saturday it might be 0, and that's happened before too, where we've had 0 people show up, and that's okay. We'll sit there with our lender and we'll record our Zoom, and I'll upload it to YouTube and edit it. So if nothing else, I have a nice little update to post on Facebook.
Yeah.
And to your point, and I'm going to be intentional about getting better at the, you made a comment, it was yesterday or the day before when we were talking, that really stuck with me, that you're just as excited about the people that don't show up because they've given you permission to talk to them. And that was a viewpoint I didn't have before. So I'm going to approach that differently now, because that was kind of an aha.
Yeah. Awesome. They raised their hand and they said they were interested. I'm interested in what you're talking about, Adrian. I just can't make it at that time. I thought I could and I can't. Right? Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So, decide what format you want to work in. Right now, digital is going to be your go-to, and you can transition these to being a face-to-face format over time as society kind of gets back into, doing things face-to-face, right? And then the last thing I would say is, once you've determined what type of event is and who your audience is and who you're partnering with, consider delivering an item of value that's like a take home or a leave behind, or something that you'll deliver after the event. If this is for a home buying seminar, a first time home buyer seminar, then you might leave them with your guide to buying your first home, or the your first home Keller Ink book or whatever could be mailed to their house, right? Some sort of item of value, right? For any kind of seller seminar, maybe your item of value is you're going to get the home preparedness checklist, right? So that you can get your home ready for sale, and you have a branded checklist that says things like paint your front door, and your handrails, make sure that you're taking care of these small maintenance items ahead of time, right? The item of value gives you something to follow up on afterwards, right? So in the case of the home seller seminar, right? After the seminar, if they didn't schedule an appointment with you right then, and we're going to talk about that, you get to follow up and say, hey, have you had a chance to use that home seller checklist? I wanted to see if it's useful for you. Right? Here's some of the feedback that I've received on it is, one of my clients looked at current trends and was sharing with me that red is no longer a hot door color. You should choose blue. And I didn't know that. So I wanted to reach out and share it with you, or, whatever that opening is to be able to engage them back in conversation, and further that relationship. So that item of value is something that they can tangibly take with them, that brings value to their situation, and it gives you a reason to be able to follow up. So you've planned and partnered. Now you're going to promote your event, right? This is the fun, exciting part. You're going to work with your partner and create some marketing collateral for your event. This marketing collateral could be anything from some images that are going to go on social media, to Eventbrite, to emails, to flyers, however you choose to market it. This is one of those where on your list, you're going to choose the channels that work best for you. If if most of your business comes through your neighborhood farm, then maybe your marketing collateral is going to be a door hanger that goes out on your farm. If you're looking to attract new people into your sphere, right, then maybe your marketing collateral is going to be for Facebook posts or Facebook paid ads. You can create all sorts of marketing collateral. If you're using Command, then you can use the designs applet inside of Command to create some phenomenal collateral. And in fact, some of the resources I'm going to show you today for seminars that live in KW Connect even have some marketing collateral already made. So it makes that piece super simple. You just, change a little bit of information. And then decide how you're going to market. I recommend always marketing inside and outside. So what I mean by that is you want to present everything you can into your sphere, right? These are past clients, friends, family, people you already know, you like, you trust, you, to let them know that something's happening. And right, this is taking the place of like open houses. So it is something that you want to be attracting people from outside of your sphere into. So a great way to do that is through social media. And if you've got awesome social media presence, then you might be able to do this really organically on social media by just talking about it, right? By just, oh my gosh, I've got a great event coming up. I hope you can make it, right? And here's some of the pieces of it. You could, on even your personal page, create an event in Facebook and Instagram and drive people to that event. Even better, on your business page, you can drive people to that event and then you get to boost that event. You can do that directly through Facebook. It's really easy to do and can be fairly inexpensive. And because it's an event, you're still promoting your real estate business. So you do have to be careful when you're boosting that post to follow all fair housing laws, right? And so if you're targeting who you're boosting that post to, you have to be really careful that you're not targeting by age or demographic or any of those protected classes. Okay, so just kind of a disclaimer there. Probably one of the best things that you can do to promote this event outside is to do a paid ad. And using the lead accelerator tool in Command is a great way to be able to do that. And here's something really fun that I wanted to show. And this is one of the things that got me the most excited about this. And let me do this. I think I have to stop sharing for a second. Woo! I turned my music back on accidentally. So one of the things that got me the most excited about this, and I think I have to share my actual screen here. There we go. Is this. Can you guys see my screen? And it's like a picture of somebody else's screen. Awesome. So we were on this national call the other day interviewing this like top agent who is killing it right now running these Facebook ads through Command, right? And nationally you can like buy leads through all of these aggregators for what, like $25, $10 at the best, right? And she's getting, look at this one, for like 81 cents. Right? So she's showing this off and she's really excited because she's promoting all of these listings, and for like 81 cents a pop, she's getting these leads, which is crazy. And nobody talked about these other two, but I was looking at them and I'm like, what are you doing? First time home buyer seminar, 40 leads, $1.25 a piece. So that's 40 people who raised their hand and signed up for her seminar, who said, I have an interest in real estate. I'm buying my first home. And all told, She paid $50 to get those 40 people, not to the seminar. Who knows if they came or not? That's really unimportant. She had 40 people raise their hand and say, I'm interested in buying a home. For $50, I would make that plan any day of the week. So I've got to tell you, this is going to be a super powerful tool to be able to do some advertising. And one of the cool things about that Facebook Lead Accelerator is you can actually advertise to your sphere as well. So you can kind of double hit on that tell everybody inside and tell everybody outside, right? So you're going to promote the heck out of your seminar. Other avenues that you might use are like business to business. In your network, do you have other small businesses? Are you part of networking groups, right? You want to promote this to other small businesses, and they may even be interested in partnering with you or sponsoring, right? Could you imagine hosting your how to prepare your home for sale webinar, and it's sponsored by your local carpet guy? Right? And so his logo's all big and shiny, and you give him a big shout out, and then he pays for your ad spend. So now you've got 40 people coming to your first time home buyer or to your prepare your home for sale seminar, and you didn't even have to pay to get those 40 people there. And then he's going to tell all of his people, hey, I'm kind of a celebrity. I'm going to be featured on this how to sell your home webinar. You should tune in, right? So a great way to be able to kind of close that circle and build your network, right? Do some cross promotion. When you have an event, my favorite place to cross promote this is on Eventbrite. It's free. You can build on an event on Eventbrite, and then you can open it up to the public so that it's searchable, and people can actually find it on Eventbrite. It's a pretty good resource, and it's also linked with social media. So that's one of my favorite cross promotion pieces is Eventbrite. But you can also cross promote, like if your main social media is Facebook, you could also do it on Instagram or LinkedIn. If you have a great YouTube presence, then could you do a promotional video on your YouTube channel? If you have, if you are the realtor in your next door group, could you invite your neighborhood on Nextdoor or your local Facebook page, right? So be thinking of all of the different groups that you can invite to this event.
Hey,
and
Anna,
then invite them and remind them. Yeah, Ricky.
so my question is, as far as the promotion piece goes, and Adrian, you can probably speak to this as well. Kind of a time frame, or do you recommend that we go from the time we start cross promotion to the time we have the event? Is it a week? Is it 10 days? Is it a month? Like, what do you have a thought on? What's that kind of sweet spot time frame to allow for marketing?
Yeah, Adrian, I'll let you, kind of speak to what's worked for you. I've found that for in-person events, you want to allow more time because people really do put those on their schedule differently. For digital and like Zoom events, if you're doing something virtually, a week to 10 days is probably pretty sufficient. If you do more than that, then it's going to kind of fall off of people's radar. And if you do less than that, you don't give people enough time to say yes. So I like that. A week to 2 weeks is probably what I'd say.
Yeah, I totally agree, Anna. However, it gives you more opportunities to call them if you're calling and reminding and then, checking in or whatnot. Yeah. But we were playing with that a little bit during COVID too, because we would, on our in-person buyer seminars, usually plan about 30 days. Where we did some soft and then of course inviting our sphere, and a lot of times it would take the whole 30 days to get through that sphere. So we would plan a little bit more, and when we started doing them online, people would forget even though we're reminding them and just not show up, as opposed to everybody's just available you know, that,
Yeah.
that day.
Oh,
So
I suppose to that point, Adrian, though, with your aha from your conversation with Anna, it's irrelevant if they show up, right?
well, true, and I didn't have the aha until yesterday,
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I could see where that might play in later, you know, after the event date, right?
Right.
So from that perspective, you know, that time frame for promotion and marketing obviously is not the most important thing,
Mhm.
right?
Right. And Anna, I actually had a question too about the example you gave with the carpet guy.
Yeah.
Because just thinking of some of the networking events and whatnot that we all belong to, you know, really you could spend a lot more if you got to, right? And you could promote several people. Do the same rules apply? So with your carpet guy example and him paying for it, if you're on there as well, wouldn't you have to split it 50-50, or it's different because it's online?
It's actually different because that doesn't violate RESPA. They're not a settlement service provider.
Okay.
So settlement service providers are the ones we have those strict rules with. That's going to be your lender, that's going to be the title company, right? But if it's not a settlement service provider, you know, I mean, get a roofer to sponsor it, right? Like, let's do a roof inspection before you sell your house. Do you remember the last hailstorm? I don't remember the last one on my house. Has my roof been inspected recently? I might want to know before I, you know, put my home on the market. So those type of ancillary services are pretty safe to co-market with or to get sponsorship from.
There's another aha. Like this whole my entire career, I've been treating it all the same. Like everybody that I partner with.
Ah, interesting. All right, Adrian. See, you should come to classes more often. No.
Yes, I should.
Oh goodness. Awesome. So we're doing pretty good then. We're promoting our event, we're building up the buzz, right? We're getting our people excited about coming. Now we need to prepare. This is like the meat and potatoes of it, right? We actually have to put together the presentation. I mean, probably, right? Unless you're really just going with promote and the post-event follow-up. Don't do that. Prepare for a powerful presentation because you're a professional, right? And that's what you're bringing into this is you're building up your professional reputation as well. So you want to find a presentation. You can make one from scratch if you need to, but I find it's really powerful to start with something somebody else has already done and then just make it your own. For instance, this entire presentation today was created by somebody else. I just made it my own. So it makes it easy to do, and then you don't have to be an expert in PowerPoint, right?
Adrian, do you have my email address? That'd be great if you just, you know, wanted to ship over what you do. That'd be awesome. Thanks.
Seeing Anna's, I think I need to perfect ours first, and then yes.
You guys can have this one too. It's on KW Connect. So it's available for all of us to be able to R&D, to rip off and duplicate. It's open invitation. So let's do this. Let me pop out of this presentation. Let me show you some resources for presentations. And these resources are great for the next 3 points, like presentations, timing, and scripts. But here's a great resource for you. It's kellerinc.com, and this is available to everybody, even if you're not KW. You can just go to kellerinc.com. And under the resources, you'll find all of the different Keller Inc. Books. And the coolest thing is some of the most powerful material that we have come with some free resources, right? So this is the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. We haven't even talked about this, but this is awesome right now. I mean, if you want to build your investor clientele, I mean, if they're in a place where they want to get into the short-term rental market, now is an awesome time for them to do that because people are selling their short-term rentals left and right now, right? So if they're looking to pick one up, it's a hot opportunity, right? Downtown Denver, the vacation places, At any rate, there's a lot of investment opportunity right now. So you could host an investment workshop. The whole presentation is here. In fact, here's even your item of value. You get to send them home with a client workbook, and there's instructions for hosting it. And this is available to everybody for free downloads. Your first home, there's a whole piece here. Flip, and I think Flip has one. Yeah. So if you want to do a flip workshop, how you can flip properties, here's everything that you need to be able to get started. Another great resource is on KW Connect. And so when you log into KW Connect, in fact, it's really interesting. Just Monday, maybe it wasn't Monday, maybe it was last week. Oh yeah, just this last Monday, Serve Your Sphere with buyer and seller seminars, right? So there was actually a whole video kind of covering what we were doing. But what you can do is, if you just search in here for seminars, you'll find a ton of information. So if you have people who are interested in investing in rental properties, the hold seminar might be more powerful than the flip seminar, right? So it's specifically on buying and holding. Here we go, first time home buyer seminar. And so when you come into this, there's a whole kit that will come with this, and includes a slide deck and some graphics and a script. So really, really powerful stuff. And then, some how-to pieces. You can find some seller seminars in here. So these are some great starting points where you can make them your own, which I absolutely dig that. So there's a ton of resources there to be able to create that presentation, work through a script and the timing of it. Learn to use your technology or your space. The day of your seminar is not the time to learn how to share on Zoom, right? Unless you know the people coming really well. Right? If you're hosting this for like your family, then sure, but you're going to want to practice ahead of time. And a great way to do that is to get together with your partners and do a run through, do a dry run of what it's going to look like, who's going to talk when, what you're going to share. You may, you'll probably work collaboratively on building out this presentation to be able to answer those questions. And then you get to present. And I want you to bring your best energy, like this little girl on her birthday, right? Bring your best energy to this event, especially in a digital space. It can be really, really challenging to convey that sense of excitement over Zoom. So you kind of have to amp it up just a little bit. But this is the day to bring your A game. Right? If you don't normally, then take a shower that day, like brush your teeth, do your hair, put on makeup. Pants should be required, right? Because pants give you professional energy. I'm not going to lie. Like when you're wearing your professional attire, you have professional energy and you want to show up for this, right? So make sure you have your material with you so that you're following your script or your guide. It's okay for your PowerPoint or your presentation to be your guide as well, if you feel like you really know the material really well, right? Don't worry about being perfect. I promise they're concerned about their real estate need, not your presentation skills. Right? They came to your webinar with an agenda. They wanted to learn something. They wanted to feel better prepared to take this next step in an uncertain time. They could care less that, you only put on one earring or you accidentally said 25 times, right? Deliver your professional presentation, share your knowledge, earn their trust, right? Hit the record button. I should have put that on there. Write it down. That's important. hit record, because then, just like Adrian said, now you have something. You can use that a ton of different ways, right? Put it on your YouTube channel to build your presence. Put it on social media so that now you're the local expert. To people who didn't attend, well, you have a conversation with them afterwards and you say, you know what? I'd love to sit down one-on-one with you and explore this topic. And when they, if they still choose not to, you can say, you know what, how about I send you the recording of the event and we'll connect afterwards. I can answer your questions, right? So it gives you another piece of follow-up. Close for immediate appointments. So at the event, you're going to want to offer a call to action, right? Put your email address in the chat box right now, and immediately after this, myself and our lender will follow up with you so you can book your appointment. Now, you're going to want to do this right away because our schedules after these events typically fill up, and I want to make sure that we take care of you first. So go ahead and pop your email address in the chat box, and we're going to reach out to you right away to set that appointment. It can be challenging over Zoom to get that one-on-one commitment. So you're going to want to use a technique like that, like getting their buy-in, or, if you've learned more, if you've learned enough and you feel confident moving forward, go ahead and say yes in the chat box, right? And so now, before you close the event, you're going to go through the chat box and you're going to record who said yes and what are their email addresses, and you're going to follow up first with them and book your appointment. And then in closing, you're going to let them know that in your email, you're going to see this item of value, your 10-step checklist to getting your house ready for sale, or your first-time home buyer guide. And so you're going to follow up and email out that to them. You can email that to them, with a personal note if you can manage that, especially if they were really engaged in the class. That's a great touch. Hey, thank you so much for asking such powerful questions. It sounds like you guys are really ready to move forward. I hope you find a lot of value in this 10-step guide and getting your house ready. I can't wait to connect, right? And making that a more personal touch. And then you're going to do your post-event follow-up. And I promise you, the fortune is in the follow-up, especially in the digital events, because, if you're doing this in person, then after the event, somebody's going to hang around and they're going to be like, hey, I'd love to sit down and I think we're ready. Whatever it is you were doing, they think they're ready to do it. And they're going to right there book that appointment with you. And in the virtual space, that's harder to do. Right? So what's going to happen instead is you're going to have to follow up to gauge their level of interest and to build that relationship to the next step and encourage them to either sit down in person or on Zoom with you again.
Hey, Anna, what do you think about the idea of promoting it that if they want the link to the Zoom call so they can attend, they've got to already have an appointment set with you for after the event?
It depends 100% on what your intention is, right? And have you captured their contact information before you've given them that value or that proposition, that ultimatum? That's the word I'm looking for, right? Because if you give them that ultimatum first, you're dramatically decreasing the likelihood of capturing their contact information because you've raised the bar, you've raised that barrier to entry. However, the people who do say yes are going to be more serious, right? So it just depends on what you're looking to accomplish. I mean, if you can do that in such a way where you're capturing their information, where you're allowing them to say yes, and then you come back and you say, awesome, I'm so glad you're interested in this event. In order to receive the Zoom link, we've found that that it's the most valuable thing for your time that we book an appointment up front for you to meet with the lender or whatever it is, right? So I mean, if you do it like that, I think there could be some value to it. And then, from there, only the really serious people are going to move forward and attend your event, but then you're still going to be able to, you still got the hands raised from the people who were kind of considering it. And, you know, there's a lot of gold in those folks, because eventually they're going to be a yes, right? You're just not a yes today. So long-term follow-up for those people, you know, so I don't know.
Well, I guess I was just thinking that, you know, if you, in your promotion, if you promote like, hey, here's the Zoom number, the class number and all of that, excuse me, that's one way. The other way is you already got their contact info, right? So that you can call and remind them, and you can email them and remind them, right? So you probably already got a large number of their contact info.
Right. Well, and Zoom and most of the other sites allow you to set up a registration, just like you guys registered for this one today. You had to tell me your name and email address in order to get the link to come on.
Right.
So, you know, they don't allow like a third step in there, right? Where it's give me your name and email address and then answer these questions for me, and then you can get the link.
All right.
Right. Yeah. So you just have to be creative with how you make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. And I'd love to, you know, if you wanted to explore that a little bit, I think there's probably some ideas for that, Ricky, and we can follow up one-on-one.
Well, you know me, I'm not very creative, so.
I think you're plenty creative. So you guys know this. This is what our business is based off of, right? The fortune is in the follow-up. Here's what I'd say. If you get a phone number, and I encourage you to set up a registration that prompts people to give a phone number, call everyone. And just like Adrian had said, I'm just excited about the people who didn't attend as the ones who did. I mean, you're going to call everyone. You want to start with the people who attended, right? I'm going to thank them for coming. I'm going to follow up with questions. I'm going to close again for an appointment. Or I'm going to confirm that we have an appointment already booked for whenever it is, and remind them to be there. And for those who didn't attend, I'm going to call them anyhow. And you know what? Let's be real. I might even play dumb. I know who attends because I can see the participant list on the Zoom, right? We know who is here. Yet, what if I called you and said, hey, I know you registered for our first-time homebuyer seminar the other day. Were you able to make it? That's a lot softer than, I know you weren't there and I'm calling you anyhow, right? Were you able to attend? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It didn't work for your schedule. You ended up getting called into work. Oh, wow. Well, are you considering buying your first home? Are you guys in the market right now? Fantastic. You know, I have a little bit of time actually this afternoon or tomorrow evening, if that's better. I'd love to sit down with you one-on-one and walk through what we covered during the event. It's a very genuine, very coming from contribution way of being able to follow up, and then you're getting that one-on-one appointment with them, right? If I sit down on a Zoom with a first-time home buyer and can get them connected with my lender right away, well, then that's essentially a relationship building appointment. It would be easy for them to sign a buyer's agency agreement at the end of that Zoom, wouldn't it? Right? I mean, Ricky, thank you so much for sitting down with me this evening. Did we answer all of your questions? And do you feel confident about moving forward on the purchase of your first home?
Yeah, absolutely. The information's been quite overwhelming. Clearly, we're going to need some help.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, you know, here's what I want to do. I just emailed you over a document. I'm going to go through it with you, and we'll get started working on your behalf right away. Find you your home and make the process simple. Does that sound good?
That sounds awesome.
Great. And you can go through that document right there with them on Zoom. Right? Here's what it looks like for us to be to have that agency agreement together. And then put them on a touch program. Not everybody's in the place in their life where they can say yes now, right? They may be a yes soon or a yes maybe, but they might not be a 100% yes today now. So what is your future follow-up plan? And this is so vital. They cannot just live on a, you know, on a sheet of paper on your desk. You have to put them in your CRM. You have to, and instigate a smart plan for them. Coincidentally, right before class today, I was on Facebook and I ran into this. If you guys aren't a member of the Pivot Shift Ahead group on Facebook, then you should do that. Oh, you know, it's so funny. I had it all geared up. Here we go. And it moved on me. Okay, did y'all see that? I hope everyone's having a great week so far. I just created a follow-up smart plan for first-time buyer events, and I wanted to share it with you. So not only do you not even have to go write your own seminar, you don't even have to write your own follow-up plan. This one's already been created for you. You're just going to be able to copy and paste into smart plans and get your people started on a long-term follow-up here from buyer seminar. It's destined that I taught this class today and that you guys showed up so that I could share this post with you. I was so excited when I saw it that I kept it up on my screen. So there you go. Make sure you're following up. And in a nutshell, that's it. Rinse and repeat. You know, depending on your bandwidth, you could do this weekly, monthly, quarterly to continue to get a fresh flow of people into your pipeline and strengthen your relationships with your vendors. Because I mean, I can't tell you a small business owner that wouldn't be excited about being a part of your event right now, right? It's absolutely huge. Do you guys have any questions? I know we moved fast through this, so I'm so glad you took notes.
Anna, go back to R&D. What was that? Rip off and what?
Rip off and duplicate.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorites. Tiffany says, I did a seminar once and someone came up to me to tell me that I said cool so many number of times. And I thought, well, at least he was listening. Yep. I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. Adrienne had to hop off. She's got multiple offers on her super hot listing right now. That's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, you guys are absolutely phenomenal. I so appreciate you coming today. Here's what I want you to do. Please let me know when you're going to be hosting your next event. I'm going to throw my email address in the chat box, and my name is Anna Kibble. You can find me on the socials if we're not already friends on Facebook. Find me on there and tag me in your event invitations. I'm happy to help cross promote that for you too and share that with my sphere. I love helping my my friends in the real estate industry do more business and build more business. And I'm really, I can't tell you enough how excited I am about this as a prospecting opportunity. So share your results with me. I want to hear what you guys are doing. Yeah, I love it. Tiffany, that is so true. You said that's great info and a reminder with people that have a need and a want. And here's the deal. People need our help right now, right? I mean, in a really big way. There's a lot of folks right now who, who may be experiencing some financial hardship, who might be in trouble, who might be going through forbearance, right? And they need a trusted real estate advisor who can help walk them through the options. So we didn't even talk about that, but could you do a webinar that says, how to navigate your forbearance, right? Could you bring your attorney on who's reviewing forbearance documents and share, what they're doing. I think there's a ton of opportunity here for us to reach out and do exactly what we got in the business to do, which is to help people with the biggest purchases of their life. right? I appreciate you guys. Go forth and take action today. Ricky's going to be doing his within a month from today. I like it. That's some accountability too.
You know, that's my favorite part of real estate is accountability.
Oh,
just
goodness.
don't tell my maths coach I committed to that.
I have Christina on speed dial.
Yeah, I'm fully aware. Thanks.
Oh, goodness. All right. You guys are awesome. Larry's talking with his lender right now. Hey, also, I learned this recently. I got to share it. I planned on putting it in the slide and I didn't. Keller Mortgage will partner with you on your seminars as well. You can reach out to Keller Mortgage directly, or you can reach out to your favorite loan officer and they'll partner with you on your buyer seminars. And so that's a great resource. So not only are you partnering with your people and bringing the seminar, but you're also bringing the opportunity to have zero closing costs, zero origination fees, zero loan fees, and $1,000 back at closing with the 0+ program. So that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Thanks, Larry, for reminding me of that.
It kind of sounds like that might be its own seminar.
It may be. It may even be a team meeting soon.
At a team meeting near me?
Yes. Yes, at a team meeting near you. Yep.
Fair enough.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. Go out there. There's a lot of business right now. We're breaking records left and right. Make sure you're getting your unfair share of that by standing out from the competition and displaying your professional attributes so the world can trust you and choose to do business with you. All right. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, you know, I'm going to follow my own advice, and I'll probably be reaching out to all of you to see that you got the items of value that I'm going to be sending you after the class. So take care, guys. Have a great afternoon.